I'm looking for something else now.
Yeah. Hello, we're back. That dropped out. All right, that takes us to race 4 anyway. We've got the Spearlings. Buy our products, they're good. HB car, the JHB car stakes over 1400 metres. Pearls for the Blue Jackets is the favourite, ahead of Den Magic. Tap This in the market in the frame with
Also
No More
Den
Tears.
Magic.
And Tremezina, sorry?
Yeah, Den Magic, Den Pearl.
Den Pearl, yep.
Den Pearl's 50, Den Magic's 550.
Yep.
Yeah, 1400 metres, there's not a lot of obvious pace here. Yatana I had working forward from a wide gate. Lady Sniper found herself forward. I'm sure that Bindi Baker would prefer that not to be the case. But she can obviously be in the van. Pearls will be on pace tomorrow after her rehabilitation last start. And I had Brigadoon Rise and Tremezina poking up along the inside to be not far away. It's a muddling sort of scenario that does offer opportunity to say horses like Yatana or even Tap This to push on.
Yeah, I went looking for some value, or looking to try and find one of these lightly raced fillies or something out of the traditional lead up, which is the PJ Bell, trying to sort of get away from, not looking to purposely get away from Pearls, but thinking, is there anything in these other fillies that I can find to beat her? And I was struggling. I think.
Yeah, she was such a resolute run, wasn't she? It was just like she wasn't in the best ground.
No,
she really, she wasn't really suited by the way the race was run.
She wasn't suited at 1200, and she was the one who was strongest through the line. Another 20 metres and she probably would have won the race. Now she gets another 200. She's got an ideal gate. She meets them all in the same weight conditions. Track condition doesn't really seem to pose a problem to her. I'd imagine James McDonald, as you mentioned, probably can be a little bit more aggressive early, up to the 1400. She just seems to tick all the boxes. So I've got to be stuck with Pearls here. Lady Sniper, as you mentioned, Mark, hopefully they can ride her a touch colder to allow her to hit the line. Tap This was maybe the one that has somewhat of an upward spiral, but she still
seemed to do a great job to reel in two very much informed horses.
Yeah, there's something about her that I quite like, Tap This, and so they're my 3 that I'm looking at. Pearl's clearly on top. I thought Den Magic was much too short in betting, considering what she did last start.
Yeah, well,
it was a bad spot for her, but Pearl still was going a lot better than her.
What they're trying to say is she's a chance.
Yep.
They've priced her up too short.
Yeah.
You'll likely get better tomorrow, and it's basically saying don't forget her, she's a chance. Slightly Sweet came back from 2000 to win this race last year, if you recall. Kathy. So it's it can be a bit of a hodgepodge. Certainly Pearls is your linchpin. Off a very, very solid run last start, I could entertain a horse like Brigadoon Rise, who was in the betting in the Gosford Guineas and second up from a long spell on that occasion. That's just a suggestion.
All right, I'm a bit the same. I'm hard to be with Pearls, hard to be against, but I do want to make that point that I made on the show on Monday about a little bit of a pearl on Pearls with John O'Shea, is that I'm getting a feeling that the horses that are coming back a little bit in distance are racing a lot better for him because maybe they're not being trained as hard. As I mentioned on the Punter
she
show,
had the work poured back into her now?
Maybe that's different. So whilst it's traditionally not a good thing to do, the noises you hear out of the stable is, why the bad grand final record is, that maybe put too much work into them or whatever it is.
Is Johnny saying that? Or
Johnny's not saying that, but that's just what you hear when you have your ear to the ground a little bit, Mark. I'm sure not many people.
Gossip.
Not many people would probably mention that to John. I'm sure, but anyway. So if that was the case, that might have been a real positive for that horse for her to be racing fresher, doing all that, as we've seen 3 times now with Pearls, with Old Mate and Old Mate, whoever it was, the other 2 examples of that have raced well that way. So that might have been its chance to have a really good run. Anyway, can't bet in the race.
So that opens it up, in your opinion.
Oh, but it's Pearls too.
I know.
Regardless of that, it's Pearls.
And
I agree. You can't. First thing I wanted to do is put the old cross, Hugh Davidson cross next to it, whatever, and then you go through and you go, no. Yatana's a nice wine. No. Must get myself. Yatana was the Penfolds Chardonnay Grange. Yes, lovely.
Get out of my range.
Yeah, that's all right, mate.
Good work, good work, D. Baker.
The Moet and Sean Don Champagne, so you just get the Moet. That's when you're budgeting, because you don't get the Dom.
Right.
It's just the simple things that most people do on a Saturday night, isn't it?
I guess so.
Yeah, okay.
You're telling it.
All right, lovely. Yankee Rose was $1.40, but she's not with us. Do your best. As we've said, this is probably the worst Group 1 ever run in the history of Australian racing.
Well, they're always they often end up bad.
This starts out bad.
Guelph beating Wurza doesn't look much good.
Oh, at least Guelph had some sort of filly
It could
star
be a
appeal.
superstar out of here emerging.
Okay, name it. Name it.
Anyway.
Okay.
I said could.
Yeah.
Was the key word.
Yeah, could.
Prized Icon looks to take it up. Pop up from the esteemed Mornington Sires, who should be on the speed with the winner of that race, Jaws of Steel. And North Sky was a horse that I was at Sandown last week. I can tell you North Sky was ridiculously heavily backed, given that it drew Gate 1. And I don't know if anyone paid any attention to Sandown last week, but Gate 1 was pretty much like a no-go zone. So he's got blinkers on. He's been spirited up here on the 7-day backup, and he'll be part of the speed as well. Crown him bounded out of the gates last week and could occupy an on-pace position. Obscura settling rails midfield, Chimbora midfield. El Sicario looks to go back, raced on a very heavy track in New Zealand last start. And I had Faraway Town and Divine Prophet, who steamed home at Kembla, going back as well. But, I mean, Divine Prophet drawn wide out, they could have other ideas going 12 to 16.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, not an obvious situation. Obviously, Prized Icon says, well, I'll be here, but, they can have other ideas.
Due to Yankee Rose being in the race when I did the form, I wasn't sort of
you brushed on the race.
No, well, I did. I basically.
Looked at it and said they're not good enough.
No, but I looked at it and went, okay, yep, you'll be gods, but look, I don't want to take $1.50.
Yeah, but you can't.
But I don't really want to be betting against you.
No.
But now I'm looking at the race thinking, well, the horse that I thought was going to be potentially the biggest danger is Chimbora. I'm happy to forgive its last run. Thought it just got too wide from a bad gate and sort of lost sight of the bunny there. It was just I think it was a complete forgive run. Its 2 previous efforts were very good, I thought. The horse is still a maiden, but so are many of the others in this race. Hugh Bowman on, D Payne. Speaking with him at the trials this morning, he was quite disappointed with the jockey in its previous attempt and said, I think we'll see the real horse on Saturday. So that's maybe some sort of a push, but I don't really have a lot of confidence in this race. Look, I just don't really want to be on Prized Icon. I don't want to be on Defined Profit going from 12 to 1600. Faraway Town's there, but there.
Obscura was 66 to 1 in the value.
Exactly.
And now it's going to be 4 to 1 in the campaign.
Got beaten the maiden at Kembla Grange.
That's right. It's just yuck. Race to the bottom for mine, so I don't like those type of races. I stay out of them.
No, well look, I suppose for the record I'll say 7-6-1 and we'll just move on.
All right, race 6 is the Hallmark Stakes. Should mention, when we were talking about the sets a second ago, Adelaide sets, Aaron Barbie started. Last week we posted it online. Very good solid winning set. I think it was about a 40 or 50% profit on turnover for BZ, wasn't it? But so that started last week, which is online there, which you can see. If you look back for that article or one of the more recent articles, you can see what he does. Another impressive looking set, markers, all of them are, ratings, comments, staking plans, speed maps.
Not allowed through the gate unless it's
No, and like all of the products that we start, we just don't flippantly do them. I mean, Aaron's been involved with Jelko for a long time, he was involved with Fletcher for a long time, then had to move into state and decided to have a crack on his own, and Adelaide has always been a jurisdiction that he's got his best results in, so he's really focused down on that, and which has provided us with the opportunity of bringing him on board. And we've been looking.
That's the thing, you've got specialists in the public.
Yeah.
Specialists.
Exactly right, and Adelaide has been an area we haven't aimed up at before, and as Aaron made the point, is that there's a lot less superstars betting in Adelaide than there is in the Sydney market, so it does provide...
It's like taking the provincial approach.
Yep.
It's just going to a metropolitan venue, but getting out wide of
getting out a bit wider and
Sydney
getting away from the absolute super sharks, and where their main point of focus is, and being a bigger fish in a smaller
pond.
Whatever it is.
You got it right now.
Yeah, whatever it is. So Adelaide, good. Give it a try. Same as always. Whatever it will be judged on the winningness of that set, but also you get a lot more than just A from B, C and D in it. You'll like it. Hallmark Stakes is race 6, and we see Music Magnate resuming for Bajorn as the favourite ahead of Speak Fondly, Charlie Boy, Fast and Rocking, Target Insight, the others in the mix as they usually are. Now, Brent, you've been out to the trials today. You've spoken to Bjorn Baker.
Yep.
How is he?
He's quite boyish about, or bullish about the way Music Magnate has come up this preparation, and he made mention.
He's always a good horse.
Yeah, no, but he made mention that when you look at his form from previous preparations, he said you don't realise it at the time, but it's getting stronger and stronger without him having to even go to the races.
You have Opie Boston slaughtering it against Peeping. That's things.
Well, and then so that's usually you run second to Peeping. He's run second to Fell Swoop. Well, Peeping's come out and won the Coolmore Classic, which had Ascadelia, Solicit, Lucia Valentina, all the good horses coming out of that. Fell Swoop's run second in the TJ Smith.
Yep.
Runs third to Good Project, who then goes to Adelaide and wins Perth and wins a Group 1. Then it beats Good Project, beats San Diego. Cosmic Cubes come out and won. Was a listed race at Canberra. So there's been a lot of form around that. And he's hopeful the horse can go to Brisbane and be a force in some of the sprint races.
No, I think it's always been a horse that's shown the potential for good ability, and this is the preparation that it should all come together, and we should see its best anyway.
4-year-old gelding in the autumn. This is like a 25-year-old footballer that's starting to hit his straps.
Yeah, that's right.
They've had plenty of opportunity.
Very good analogy, man.
In the younger grades, and they're at their peak of their power, basically.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, so the race should be fairly genuine. I mean, that's good. That's a good idea. Had how many trials this time in? He's only won once in Sydney for P. Snowden, and that was in the 1,000-metre race at Kensington.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
He did win first up at Scone in the middle of last year in that 1,100-metre feature. He'll be humming. Speak Fondly's been back to the trials and is obviously stepping up from the 1,000 of the challenge. So she'll be raring to go as well. I had my favourite sort of slotting into a nice spot behind them. Art Lee back along the fence, and next best perhaps Target Inside, who was ridden quite almost aggressively for him the other day.
He doesn't usually show a lot of pace.
No. Maybe Music Magnate will be looking for that position. Not that easy to get, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. All right, what are you saying, Marcus?
Well, he's a good horse. I mean, Music Magnate. His first up run last time in behind Fell Swoop was outstanding.
He didn't look much good at 1,000 metres, totally unsuited, all that sort of business.
Yeah, so he's coming off the back of 2 wins and running into a field of unambitious types. They're all sort of like. They're adequate at this level.
They are.
You look at a horse like Fast and Rocking, which has had,
he's a bone dry track on us.
Yeah,
and also he's had like 8 Group 1 runs.
Yeah.
Right. So the last time he was non-Group 1, they were fancying their chances. So, I'm sure someone will be making a strong case. Charlie Boy's been kept fresh since his Liverpool City Cup win. That was your day in the sun, Brent. And
it was. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you marked it a billions, didn't you, mate?
That's right. I haven't got it a billions tomorrow, but I'm sure Brent will be.
I thought it was the right setup last time. I'm not thinking it's the same.
He's interestingly he's had very few runs in Sydney for the Snowdens, and they've I think it's only 2 actually, and they've both been quite good. Federal returned with a win, back to 1,200 is a query. I thought that my favourite could run well, and I wasn't convinced about Target Insight, but
I thought his run beyond Malaguera was.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good run. I'm just wondering whether he is actually a fresh up horse, and second up is his. Anyway, he looks a likely type for this race.
I was pretty much A from B in the market here. I was Music Magnate, thinking he's the potential horse that could go to a BTC Cup, Doomben 10,000 onto a Stradbroke, and this is going to be the easiest race he probably faces this preparation, and for that reason, he's probably going to be very hard to beat. Target Insight carried more weight than Malaguera, and got close to him. Malaguera obviously surged in that concluding stage, but a lot of people are going to be Malaguera the horse to beat in the all-age stakes, and this is a lot weaker than an all-age stakes, and he sort of comes back to a more suitable event. So I wouldn't be surprised if Target Insight is the one sort of stalking off that genuine speed. But as you mentioned, he is Target Insight. He's not.
He's
a consistent horse.
He's just lost a bit of the winningness he had at one stage.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that's
rising in grade.
maybe
Yeah,
that's,
rising
maybe
in
that's
grade.
a precious concern.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course,
But
he was,
also too,
he was the
they've
horse
also
that
got a
lowered their
limited
fields.
window.
So I know
Sorry,
I'm Music Magnate. I think it's especially the way he's weighted in this event under the set weights and penalties conditions. He hasn't yet been given the opportunity to be penalised compared to a few of the others. So I'm Music Magnate from Target Insight.
Yeah, Target Insight was the conqueror of Deep Field. I know Deep Field was coming off a loss in the Newman and the Lightning, but yeah, he was the likely kid on the block 12 months ago, and came into this race. And if you remember, our boy Malachi sat outside Craftiness in this race. It was quite an exciting race last year.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that Art Lee loses his bar plates. You know anything about this, Brent?
No, I don't know anything about that. But he's a horse that I think's got a hell of a lot of talent. He's a bit like Clearly. He did win the country race like Clearly Innocent last year, and then was able to be competitive behind Dothraki, and that's a good idea in the spring before sort of being in the wrong part of the track at Flemington on Derby Day. So I think you can forgive that effort where he finished behind Disposition. 2 trials have looked to be quite nice. I'm sort of finding it a bit hard to see where he fits in this race, but Dothraki, that's a good idea. As you mentioned,
ideas here.
That's what I mean. They're here. I think Music Magnate's probably going to go to a better level than them.
All right, race 7 is the all-age stakes over 1400 metres, and Press Statement is the favourite ahead of Malaguera, who we mentioned a bit. English, Kamadek and Blackheart Bart are all in the mix.
Well, it looks like a crawl, doesn't it? I mean, Malaguera goes forward.
Press Statement probably with it, isn't it?
Well, is that what he wants?
It looks like it looks the play, doesn't it?
Bang
outside lead.
Bowman outside lead, isn't it?
Okay.
That's sort of, I was sort of thinking Caulfield Guineas the way he was sort of ridden that day. Like, this is the last opportunity for him, really. Like, they bypassed the Doncaster after the George Ryder. By all reports, he's potentially going to England after this. This could be his last run in Australia. So, is it a kitchen sink? Put everything.
Or
into
is it?
All right. So, how do we account for the fact that Kermadec was clearly a better run than him in the Ryder?
Big time. Well, that's why I'm sort of putting a big question mark on Press Statement and thinking, is that 3-year-old form any good? Like, he only did beat Lee Remain, and then he got out and got beat by him. Gold Ambition ran third.
Yeah.
Gold Ambition's going around in a Tulloch at what price? 50 to 1 or like. Is there any substance to that form? Is there any substance to his Caulfield Guineas form?
We don't know, but I mean, if he's there to actually put the acid on Malaguera.
I don't know if the acid would have just be. I'm thinking it's
It's there. It's there. Yeah, it's not like. So, well, how does Shin ride this race? Because I mean,
does he even hand up to Huey if he comes across and sits on his back?
And then just the old little 1-2 play.
Maybe.
Like, there doesn't look many other options for the speed.
No, there are. I don't think there are any other options unless Perignon goes mad with blinkers back on.
Blinkers back on, yeah. It's a fair point, fair call.
Does English, I'd imagine, just probably looks to store Press Statement coming across.
It's had, yeah, exactly.
Going from 1,000, 1,200 to 1,400.
I know. There is this idea that they have to ride it as cold, as cold, as cold, as cold.
Might be just Gase is right here. Here we go.
Because wasn't she forced into a forward position in the sires 12 months ago? That vintage race.
I'm happy to forgive a 2-year-old. One run at 1,400 after they've just gone into
she was
off
pace, and then she was outside lead.
Well,
that was quite a sticky track that day. That was the rained out Monday, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pointing towards English without any confidence in this race, purely for the fact that if it is a slowly run race, I know she's got a fantastic turn of foot.
Yeah.
And if she's within 2 or 3 lengths.
Yeah, that's right.
Underweight for age conditions, she's going to be.
Yeah, she's
going to be thereabouts. I got no confidence.
It could be if it is a very slowly run race. It's not going to be like a 1,400 metre race. And she can just sprint,
suck,
sprint, and up you go. Yeah, cool, good work. That's fair enough.
I wouldn't be surprised if she got beat 3 lengths
and just didn't participate. Malaguera and Press Statement just go turn behind.
The one horse I do think is significantly over. The market I think's got it wrong. Is Rebel Dane. Because his runs in the 1400 and the Termi Luz Suavito races were fantastic, and I just think in the 11 and 1200, in his last, he's just been run off his legs. He just hasn't been able to have that same zip.
He can sprint too. Yeah, so I thought Rebel Dane.
He was only beaten 5 lengths by Chautauqua. Like, so it wasn't like he was.
No, he hasn't been totally hopeless. Yeah.
You agree there, mate?
Well, all right. Okay. What are we? Your Malaguera is a horse on the rise, and it's Probably gets the on-pace favours and on with it, but yeah, I do concede it's not.
Very tactical race.
I think where I'm coming from, it can be run. Tactical races mean fraught with danger races.
And what do we say about the Weir horse? You know, he just does an amazing job. Such an amazing job, this guy.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the cause, I don't care. He does. He turned Lucky Hustler into some.
Yeah, he was going average.
Miracle.
In
yeah, exactly.
With it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know the Perth trainer that had this guy, but you know, it's hard to fault the 2 runs. The 2 runs for Weir. Interesting race. Very interesting race.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's the all-age stakes. Moving on to the Japan Racing Association Plate.
Tyler not tried this race one year, remember?
Yeah, the Might and Power.
We're calling it the
Was it Might and Power?
The Chris Waller Association Plate.
Well, he's got a few.
No, Might and Power was Frank Packer Plate, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Chris has got a couple of runners. The favourite is Havana Cooler.
Yeah, so I'm interested in this Doncaster Prelude to the 2000. You know, it's 1500 to 2000, and I wasn't quite sure whether that was. I wasn't totally happy with that.
That's the opposite of John O'Shea, the horse going up in distance following.
Yes. So Messine would look to take it up. Hippopus, were he to get a start, would be have his wheelchair on full revs.
Yes.
Maybe that wouldn't make much difference. Sadler's Lake and Omen I had pushing through to be in handy positions. Rudy not far away on the inside. Casino Dancer seems to posse up.
Who has, yeah.
And Beyond Thankful's back from 2400, but is always a candidate for being on the speed. So Havana Cooler looks to race midfield inside here.
Mm-hmm. All right, Havana Cooler. Now, Brent, you've interviewed James McDonald this morning too, and he had some interesting things to say about Havana Cooler.
That Havana Cooler is the most improved horse in the Godolphin operation. This preparation, he said, last time in they, had some expectation that the horse would reach a level, and it didn't get there. But he said now that the horse has sort of had another season in Australia, acclimatised to the conditions and the way that it is fits into the training operation, that it is sort of starting to get to where they expected, and they weren't at all surprised to see him run well fresh at 1500, and they'd expect him to run well again on Saturday.
Do you agree, Mark?
I don't know, I'd just like to have a look at him. He just lost the plot so badly before he got back to 2400 last preparation. If you remember, he was amazing at 1800 first up, and then didn't get around Wyong, and then wasn't a factor in the Kingston Town Stakes. So I just, I watched him in the run the other day and tagged him as the likely winner on the turn.
Yeah. I had something.
I sort of like straight bat. Yes, he's got a great chance. Do I want to play into him? No.
I backed him at $15 last time. I don't think I can dive in at $3.50 this time. Not saying that I don't think he's a winning chance. It's just for me, from a punting perspective, I don't find that price any value. One thing I will say about the horse is that I've got a bit of a theory that he's a bone dry track horse.
I think you're right.
Because that day you mentioned at Wyong, it was a sticky track, and he never looked comfortable at all. First up at Rose Hill, dry, went good. Yep. Every other dry run had been very good. So maybe if this track starts to get a bit choppy on Saturday, late in the day, and there's some suggestion that it's starting to get a bit worn, that may be something that's against this horse.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure.
Point.
My idea, I thought Hawkspur could improve off its run behind Havana Cooler. Was a great run.
They've all
from
been
back
to
in
the trials, these Waller horses, and some of them in fast trials. It's it's an interesting. I mean, it's an oft-used tactic, but it's interesting. In comparison with the horse that beat them home. Yeah. They've been brought forward by.
They've had a little bit of extra, haven't they?
The one horse that I'm very, very keen to get in the field is Sense of Occasion. First start for Tony McAvoy. First up at
English play.
Yeah, first up at 2,000 metres with the blinkers going on for the first time. This horse has had 3 barrier trials. The last trial was very, very good compared to some fit horses like Role Model and Cool Company. Trialled up like, wow, where's this horse going to go? Expecting him to sort of be in a 1600.
Yeah.
And then you're here in a 2,000 metre race on the minimum. You love the sting out of the track. Yeah, at $34, if he gets in the field, well, I've already backed him. I'll be giving him a very big cheer.
Good work. All right, lovely. I'm not really overly enthused, but I thought Hawkspur was probably the play. What are we saying about Gardini, though, boys? The Melbourne visitor?
Well,
and we should Messina, isn't it? It seems to be handling the 2,000 metres pretty well.
I think the 2,000 at Rosehill was a little bit more kind than what a 2,000 metre run at Rosehill.
But
you could say that he's got he's rock solid.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's had an 1,800 and two 2,000 metre runs.
Got to say, he's looked as good as we've seen him for a while too. I think
he's a happy camper, but he's always been happier in Sydney, you know.
Yeah, he
remember how he had.
Is he another who wants good 3-track?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe. I think so too.
Gardini is interesting because he's had little opportunity until he jumped to the 2000 of the Easter Cup last start. And Labaz, well, that was the weirdest ride I've ever seen. Labaz was Dylan Dunn on Labaz?
Yes.
And he just gave up all his aces by coming back to the field, like
a bit like Travis Wolfgram and Mr. Steele in the Orange Cup.
Right, so it was a similar ride, was it?
Yeah.
Somehow they
lead on a one pacer, slow up, wait for everyone gets to you, and then go, oh shit, I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
So how do they get away with it?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. I thought maybe Gardini had his chance. What did you say, Dale?
Oh, barrier 17's hard from barrier 13 from the 2,000 metres. It's definitely no head start at Randwick 2000, is it?
No. But I mean,
it's tough going. I don't think different form's a problem here either.
Yeah.
Too. I think different form's good. Hugh Bowman coming through, looking okay races. So yeah, no, I can't bag it, but I think that you can just be out of play. Just not in it. 3 wide around 2,000 metres, and I don't care how wide the track's playing. It's just no good. So
just an honourable mention to the 2 Doncaster runners who did. They participated in a race that will have brought them on.
Yeah.
And may make them competitive in this race.
Mm-hmm.
That's Rudy and Omen.
Yeah. And out of the 2, is it Rudy or?
Yeah, it's Rudy.
Yeah. Like Rudy 2,000 metres.
Well, he raced in a Queensland Derby.
Yeah, great.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, we all played footy when we were younger too, right?
That was 2,400. I'm thinking that that just gets him to 2,000.
All right, the last is the Tab Royal Randwick Handicap over 1,400 metres. The favourite is down the bottom, as it always is when it goes around, is Nancy.
Where would we be without Nancy?
And then Religify.
How weak is the top of the market in this race?
Yeah, Religify.
This is the race that Rugged Cross won last.
And Strawberry Boy is at 37 trials.
I did the form for this race going, okay, you've got a chance, you've got a chance, you've got a chance, you've got a chance, you've got a chance,
everybody's got a chance.
And then I looked at the market and went, Nancy and Religify?
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I can understand Nancy because she's sort of got that, hits the line, popular type of horse, but I thought this was a bit stronger than the races she's been up against.
The Newcastle Newmarket is an interesting race because it by virtue of it coming to Rosehill, it's sort of got an imprimatur that it perhaps doesn't deserve. It's actually a provincial race in the city.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how Nancy performs off the Newcastle Newmarket. Obviously, Religify, Pozzie's up. Strawberry Boy looks to go for the lead. They're stablemates. Decision Time hops into it is very prominent here at 1,400 metres. And Medcourt obviously freshened up with trial, is back to 1,400, goes forward from wide gate. Farrellitis worried to get a run, could be on place player. Nancy won't be too far away.
All right.
Well,
you didn't like the top of the market? Where did you go?
No, I didn't like the top of the market, so I'm thinking Strawberry Boy's a winning hope. I'm thinking Medcourt's a winning hope. I'm thinking Tails are Grim, fresh off some good trials, is a winning hope.
Sam Kavanagh's last winner.
I'm thinking Less is More at 50s will be going in my quaddie. I'm thinking Pajaro will be included.
Yep.
And the one who's an emergency, I thought Farrellitos will be going in as well. Yep. So I'm taking probably 6 or 7 horses here. Looking very wide around from Nancy and Religify, just purely the fact of where they are in the market. I'm looking at the race thinking I could get it easily wrong and I may pop a roughie, but I'm not.
I'm usually always interested in Medcourt. Will be the same drawn wide. That should be okay. Parade's well, want to be on it, but he.
I know you say you say he wants bone dry, but I mean the surfaces he's acted on recently have not been bone dry.
He's better dry, but yeah,
Yeah, they run very big. He was second to Bull Point. You know, like he's been racing well.
Yeah, and he wasn't quite fit enough that day.
And in this race last year, he was on a limit throughout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there were a few unlucky.
Record at Randwick good. What's that? 5 starts, 2 wins, 3 placings.
Race as well there, yeah. But this is just set up for him, left-hand blinker, and out we go. The track out wide will be a good throw. Don't worry about that. So he'll be racing on a good track.
All right. Well, hopefully James can work that out. Pajaro turns up here for the Snowdens.
Snowden's first up, yeah.
Yes.
He's done about 80 trials since its last run.
Yeah.
4 for the Snowdens, like 4 trials. What's that about?
Does it say it's not really? They've struggled to get it going.
He looks a fresh horse though. Like, look at his run 1400.
He's actually a good horse.
Yeah,
yeah.
The run where he finished second to Magic Hurricane was huge at 1400.
Drawn wide as well too. Oh, he's in my mix. Mid-court. Pajaro.
Very good, Dal.
All right.
And that takes us to the end
of the
Randwick assignment.
Debris Day. That was it, not Derby Day. Debris Day.
I don't care what it's called. If I back a win,
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But it's just, I think it's just.
Sense of occasion wins of $34.
It doesn't matter.
The best day in Australia.
You'll be barred from this show. That's what will happen.
Brent, thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back on a punter show on Monday. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.